leaders over in Serie A as they top the table at the expense of Napoli. But in fact, when you look at the numbers, there are 3 teams all on 12 points at the top of the table who will be in number 1 spot at the end of the weekend. We're going to get to that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today we take a look at match number 6, that's right, over in Italy. And we'll get to that in a second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe. You want some shop for Blackburn Rovers, Champions League, Serie A, all of that under one whiskey right here, right now. Of course, Milan topped the charts after a big win this past weekend. Of course, will they still be there in number 1 spot after this weekend's action? We'll get into it, all of it, in a second. Big shout out to the members and the patrons. You know who you are. And again, if you're new, hit the old subscribe, boys and girls. What we're going to do now, guys and girls, is recap the results that led to this. And of course, bring you back up to date with the Superbru and look forward to this weekend's drama. So sit tight, hold on. Let's get into it then, shall we? Look back. And of course, the weekend's drama in Italy is kicking it all off with Como. Could only draw with Cremonese, 1-1 on that night. Went with a 1-0 win. Meanwhile, Juventus could only draw with Atalanta, 1-1 on there. Cagliari losing at home to Internazionale, 2-0 winners. I got a 2-1 win myself. Udinese, losing to Sassuolo, 3-1. I went with a 2-1 win. Roma picking up a 2-0 win over Verona. Not too shabby there. Pisa could only draw with Fiorentina as predicted. Lecce with a 2-2 scoreline against Bologna. Big point for Bologna on the road. AC Milan, though, with a big upset. 2-1 winners over Napoli. I went the other way. And, of course, Parma, 2-1 winners over Torino. I went with a 2-0 win. And Roma, 3-0 winners over Genoa, if you know what I mean. That's right. So those were the results. Of course, this has put the table into this kind of position with AC Milan, top of the charts, with Napoli in 2nd spot. Roma up there in 3rd. And, of course, Juventus in 4th. Going down, Lecce, Genoa, and Pisa for the time being. But, of course, it could all change dramatically. Anybody from 4th, in fact, anybody from 7th could be top. Heading into yet another international break. But we've got a weekend of drama still ahead. This is the link for the Superbru, and I'm going to give you an update on that right about now. So sit tight, and I'll show you the numbers. Alrighty then. Vinny Hong with a massive 14 points for him this past week, puts him top of the pops with Maka in 2nd spot with 11 alongside Zip. I just miss out on the medals in 5th with 10 points. Not too shabby with Ultra sandwich between us and, of course, a bit of bling there. Of course, if you see your name in there, please smash the like, smash your subscribe. Of course, the updated table looks like this. Zip still number 1, 49 points alongside Maka. Of course, is up there in 3rd, and then, of course, the rest of the chasing pack. I am in 15th spot, so I've got a bit of work to do, but I'm up 2 spots. Me and Vinny Hung going to make a surge right here, right now. So sit tight, hold on. Lots of points to be had in the Superbru, and we're going to give you an update on that, or a recap of the prediction link right here. Get involved. It's over there. Bish, bash, bosh. Get in amongst it. But we're looking forward to the next round of games, which do happen this coming weekend. And, of course, we've got a stacked out fixture list, including the first game on Friday, the 3rd of October. It is Verona. It is Sassuolo at the Stadio Marcato Pettagodi. Paolo Zanetti's boys are 17th right now with just 3 points. They're winless in the last 6. Sassuolo and Fabio Grosso, 2 wins, 2 defeats in the last 4 games. They are 13th right now with 6 points. They played each other 26 times in 2007. 10 wins Verona, 13 wins Sassuolo. There's been 3 draws. They last played at this venue. It was a 1-0 win for Verona back in March 2024. The host side has won each and every one of the last 4 matches between these 2 sides. So it's quite tight, and of course residency is crucial. Verona losing to Roma most recently. Sassuolo with that 3-1 win at home to Udinese. Bookies odds for this, they'll go with Verona, but I don't think it's that easy. Going with a 1-1 scoreline, and I'm leaning towards the Sassuolo side here. That might be back here, guys. It might be back. Lazio taking on Torino. Coming at you on Saturday, the 4th of October, the Stadio Olimpico. Lazio under Matteo Sarri. They're 12th right now. 6 points for them. 3 wins, 3 defeats over the last 6 games. Torino, managed by Marco Baroni. They've won 2, lost 2 over the last 4. They sit 15th with 4 points. They've taken on Lazio 47 times since 1993. 21 wins for Lazio, 9 wins for Torino. There's been 17 draws, including a draw when these 2 sides last played at the Stadio Olimpico back in March 2025. Lazio, though, are unbeaten against Torino over the last 4, picking up 3 wins and that draw. Lazio picking up a 3-0 away win against Genoa most recently. Torino losing away to Parma. Bookies will go with Lazio, as will Dirk. He'll back this one up with a 2-0 win as well. Moving on to Parma, up against Lecce, also coming at you this coming Saturday, the 4th of October. Annino Tardini, Carlos Cuesta there, coaching Parma up to 14th right now, 5 points for them. Back-to-back wins in all shapes and all sizes. In fact, they're unbeaten in the last 3, just 1 defeat in the last 5. Lecce, though, under Eusebio Di Francesco, they are bottom with just 2 points. And they've played Parma 30 times since 1993. We have 16 wins Parma, 4 wins Lecce. There's been 10 draws, of course. They last played at this venue. It was a 3-1 win for Lecce back in January 2025. That was, of course, last season. Big win for Lecce. Lecce, though, picking up a draw against Bologna most recently. Parma with that massive win against Torino to give them a big old boost. Parma expect to win this game as well. I think they'll follow that up with another win here. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to make it back-to-back wins and a strong end to this part of the season for Parma. Meanwhile, Inter taking on Cremonese, coming at the Giuseppe Meazza. Christian Chubuz off 5th with 9 points to them. They won 4 on the bounce in all competitions up against Cremonese and David Nicola, who are unbeaten in the last 5, but they've drawn 3 on the spin. They sit 7th with 9 points. They've taken on Inter 9 times since 1993. Inter have won 8 of them. There's been 1 draw and there's been no wins for the visitors. They last played at this venue. It was a 3-1 win for Inter back in August 2022. Inter picking up a 3-0 win over Slavia Prague most recently to make it back-to-back clean sheets and just 1 goal conceded in the last 4 matches. Up against Cremonese, picking up that 1-1 score away to Como. Cremonese have started well, but they're going to lose this game. And I think they might even lose it quite bad. I've gone with a 3-0 win for Inter to continue their goals and continue their movement towards the top end of the table. Meanwhile, Atalanta will complete the Saturday games as they take on Como at the Guaish Stadium. Even Juric's boys are in 6th with 9 points, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Como, Cesc Fabregas, who are 8th with 8 points, also just 1 defeat in the last 6. They've taken on Atalanta 7 times since 2003. 7 wins for the hosts, 1 win for the visitors, and there's been 1 draw. They last played at Atalanta. It was a 3-2 win for Como way back in September 2024. In fact, including friendlies, it's been 4 away wins on the spin. However, 3 of those last 4 away matches were at Como, and Atalanta coming out on top with the W. Como, though, picking up a 1-1 scoreline at home to Cremonese. Atalanta with that 2-1 win over Club Brugge just last night in the Champions League. They're expected to win this game as well. I think I'm leaning towards Atalanta W as they continue to impress under the new coach. Meanwhile, Udinese take on Cagliari onto Sunday's games on the 5th of October at the Blue Energy Stadium, that's right. With Udinese, managed by Kostas Runjic, just 1 win in the last 3. Up against Cagliari and Fabio Pascani, they sit in 9th with 7 points, 3 wins in the last 4. They've taken on Udinese 49 times since 1993. 27 wins for Udinese, 12 wins Cagliari. There's been 10 draws. They last played over at Udinese. 2-0 wins it was for the hosts back in October 2024. Of course, Udinese did the double over Cagliari last season. Back-to-back wins in that one. Just lost once against Cagliari over the last 6. Udinese picked up a 3-1 loss to Sassuolo. Most recently, Cagliari also losing to Inter last time around. This is a tight one, or tighter one, but Udinese still fancy to win this one. I think I've gone with a 2-1 win as well, backing the hosts to take the points. Into the final 4, we got Fiorentina. They're taking on Roma, coming at you as well on Sunday, the Stadio Armando Franchi. Fiorentina under Stefano Paloli sits 16th right now with 3 points to their name, just 1 win in the last 6. Roma under Gianpiero Gasparini are 3rd, 12 points for them. They've won 5 of the last 6, and they've taken on Fiorentina 66 times since 1994. 14 wins for Fiorentina, 36 wins for Roma, 16 draws. They last played at this venue, 5-1 winners it was for Fiorentina back in October 2024. Roma picking up a 2-0 win over Verona most recently. They're in action in Europe, of course, this week. Fiorentina with that new scoreline away to Pisa. They're also in Europe action this week as well. So both sides busy schedules, of course. I think they both expected to win those games. However, the bookies' odds for this one go slightly in favour of Roma. I think I am as well. 2-0 winners on the road to continue an amazing start under Gianpiero Gasparini. Meanwhile, Bologna, they're taking on Pisa. That's coming at you over at the Renato D'Alia. Bologna under Vincenzo Italiano. They sit 9th right now with 7 points to the name. They've won 2, lost 2, and drawn 1 of the last 5. Pisa, though, coming into this in 18th spot with 2 points. They're winners in the last 6. Of course, Alberto Galladino is the coach there. They've taken on Bologna 3 times since 2008. Bologna have won 2 of them. Pisa have yet to get a win, and there's been 1 draw. They last played over at this venue. It was a 1-0 win for Bologna back in June 2008. It's been a long, long time. And of course, Pisa have yet to win against Bologna, but they're also yet to score against them. And they're coming into this struggling to find the back of the net as well. Back-to-back games now without a goal. In fact, they haven't found the back of the net in 4 of the last 5 matches. Bologna, they're picking up a 2-2 scoreline away to Lecce, and of course, they're expected to win this game, I think. I don't really have odds here, but the only saving grace maybe here for Pisa is that Bologna are taking on Freiburg in a tricky old game in Europe, which of course will be an extra 90 minutes and the locker. So maybe, just maybe, Pisa can get something, but I just can't see it at the moment. 2-0 winners, Bologna showing the muscle over Pisa. Into the final couple, we got Napoli taking on Genoa, coming at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. Napoli under Antonio Conte sitting in second right now, 12 points for them. They've lost twice in the last 3. Up against Genoa, Patrick Vieira, just 1 win in the last 6. They're down to 19th right now with 2 points. He's on borrowed time. He could actually be out over the international break if things don't pick up. They've played each other 50 times since 1993. 23 wins for Napoli, 9 wins for Genoa. There's been 18 draws. They last played over at Napoli. It was a 2-2 scoreline back in May 2025. In fact, the last 2 at this venue ended up all square. But Napoli are unbeaten against Genoa over the last 6, picking up 3 wins and 3 draws. But they did lose to Milan most recently, taking on Sporting Lisbon tonight, hoping to get them back to winning ways. Genoa, of course, fully focused for this game, but the bookies have them expected to lose, and I think I got them as well. 3-0 winners, Napoli taking it to the house. And then finally, what a game, what a way to end this part of this season in Italy. It's Juventus, it's Milan, it's 4th up against 1st of the Allianz Stadium. Igor Tudor's boys are 4th with 11 points, of course, winless in the last 3, but they're unbeaten in the last 6 if you look at it in a different way. Milan, though, under Marcelo Allegri, they've won 5 in the bounce. They sit up at the pops with 12 points. They've taken on Juventus 83 times since 1993. 39 wins for Juventus, 24 wins for Milan. There's been 20 draws. They last played at this venue. It was a 0-0 scoreline. Scrap that, reverse it, spin it on back to Amaface. It was actually the last time they played at this venue. It was a 2-1 win for Juventus back in January 2025. Juventus' draws in a row have been Dortmund 4-4 there, 1-1 against Verona and a 1-1 scoreline against Atalanta. Meanwhile, Milan, not European action for them, so they're fully focused for this one. 2 back-to-back home wins for them. This is their first away match since that 3-0 win over Udinese. So they actually haven't. They've only conceded 1 goal in the last 5 matches. So they're looking good right now. AC Milan. The bookies will give it to Juventus at home. It is a tight one, very very tight. Not much in it. And I think I'm going to be a cop out on this one. I'm going to go with a 1-1 scoreline, which is a point apiece. And of course, if that is correct, this is what the table will look like after a dramatic week of action in Italy. You'll see Napoli return to the top with Roma in 2nd spot and Milan dropping down to 3rd, with Inter joining the company in 4th. Going down, it's Pisa, it's Lecce, it's Genoa, of course. And don't forget, the prediction league is still on like Donkey Kong. Get your predictions in now. And of course, hopefully I'll see you back when we return after the international break. But until then, subscribe, smash a like. I'll catch you later, but we're done.